Hello, good morning. It's a nice day. That looks like blue sky at the moment. Oh, and looks like I might get a bit of sun coming. Fantastic. It feels so good to be out. I feel like I've been stuck indoors for so long. Like I've been in prison, and I go stir crazy if I can't get out onto the countryside and nature and get out walking. But I'm out walking today, and it's the 3rd of January, first walk of the year. In fact, it's the first what I call proper walk for me for some time, and there's a reason for that, which I'll talk about more in a minute. So I'm Terry, the Dorset Rambler. That's my blog name. You can find my blog at thedorsetrambler.com. I call myself Dorset Rambler because I ramble in the sense of walking aimlessly sometimes, and sometimes with purpose, mostly with purpose, hopefully. But I also ramble in the sense of talking about all sorts of things on my blog. It's Dorset based mainly, but there's lots of walking stuff, backpacking, hiking, cycling, Dorset history, Dorset interesting places, some walk routes. There's all sorts of stuff on there, arty, creative stuff, and kind of philosophy, if you like, and some spiritual stuff. So it's a whole mix of things which I ramble on about. So I called myself the Dorset Rambler, and I've had that for must be nigh on 20 years now, I should think. Yes, so today I'm out on a walk for the first time for ages, it seems, as in a proper walk off-road with genuine puddles and things. And it's a beautiful day now. Look at this sun, it's just awesome. And today I'm on a walk over Down and Badbury Rings. Now, Down is one of my happy places. I just love it. It's a regular haunt of mine, and Badbury Rings, although that's more popular. Down is often quieter. It's not high, but it's got an open spaciousness about it that I just love. And in the summer, come across here in the summer, you'll find skylarks, and they'll just sing a song to me as I walk, and it's such a lovely place. Anyway, we're going up onto Down in a minute, so I'll get you back then and give you a little bit of history as to why I feel like I'm free finally at last. So you can see Down now in the distance. I always think Down is a weird name anyway, because it's kind of weird that they call them downs when they're actually up. But kind of Down kind of bucks the trend really, because it's not actually that much up. It's fairly flat, but it's just open and spacious, like I said, and I just love it. So we're heading over there. Probably won't come up on the video, but there's a couple of burial mounds over there, because this is quite an ancient area, and we'll be heading up, and I'll usually stop on top of one of the burial mounds and take in the view. Nice spot. Anyway, so we'll keep walking. Anyway, so why do I feel that suddenly I feel free? Because last year was a bit of a year, really. Second half of the year, I had an operation. In fact, I had 2 operations in the second half of the year. The first one was to have my gallbladder removed, which was, I think it was October, I'm not sure, can't remember now. That wasn't straightforward, but it was okay, and I was just about recovering from that when I had a second operation. This one was on my right ankle, so I wasn't over the first really when I went in for the second. Now the operation on the ankle, well, the story for that goes back 60 years, would you believe? So picture the scene. I'm playing football as a teenager for the school team. There's a loose ball in the penalty area. I go for the ball as fast as I can to try and get there and put it in the goal. Goalkeeper equally comes out at the same pace towards the ball as well to try and get there first. I actually beat him, get to the ball first, side foot it past him towards the goal. I never did actually get to know whether it made the goal or not, but anyway, of course, he's still going full belt towards the ball, leg outstretched, full body weight behind it. The ball is no longer there, of course, because I've already knocked that past him, but my leg is, and there's a sickening crack, and I wind up in a heap on the ground. So obviously whisked off to hospital, have the leg set, broken leg set, put in plaster. Next morning, x-ray is not set properly, so whisked off to theatre, cut the ankle open, put a screw through the ankle to hold it together, and then replaster it. And then 10 weeks later, the plaster comes off. I'm back on my feet again. Within months, I'm back out playing football and cricket and tennis and squash and all the things that I love to do, because I was always very active and sporty, and no real after effects, to be honest. Little bit of restricted movement in the ankle, but nothing much else. And so it was for 50 years. And then after around 50 years, I suddenly started to get pain in the ankle while I was walking, and it was restricting. And I'm a long distance walker. My average walk, probably 20 miles in a day, would be normal for me then. And backpacking, carrying everything. I'm a purist backpacker, so carrying everything on my back. Nice big puddle. It's been very wet. Well, it's been wet everywhere, I guess, but Dorset's not escaped it. So yes, so the pain was restricting my walking a little bit. So I go off to the doctors, x-rays, scans. They show that my ankle has osteoarthritis, which is post-trauma osteoarthritis. The ankle's not usually one that suffers too much from arthritis. Other joints are worse, but it's the ankle suffers if it's post-trauma, which mine was. So thanks to the goalkeeper, I guess, or me, or just chance. Actually, I can't even remember who the goalkeeper was. I've got arthritis, osteoarthritis in the right ankle. So I asked the doctor, I said, will I need to give up walking then? And she said no. She said, put it this way, the more you walk, the worse it will get, but it's obviously you love it and it's doing you an awful lot of good. So she said, keep walking. So I did, and I walked on, and that was fine. That was probably 9 years ago, I would guess, something like that, and I've continued to walk since then. In fact, since then I've actually gone backpacking with an arthritic ankle, albeit obviously it was in the early stages, I guess, then, so not quite so bad, and it continued that way, and that was fine. And in fact, even just 5 years ago, when I was coming up to 70, I still managed to walk 43 miles in one day. So I was kind of managing it and it was doing okay, and then 2 years ago it suddenly started to get worse. January 2022 I did an 18-mile walk, and that's the last long walk that I've been able to do really. Since then it's deteriorated, the pains got worse, and I've had to adjust my walking to kind of cope with it really. And here we are, we've just reached King Down. Lovely open area, no skylarks today, my shadow unfortunately, and this is a bit of a muddy field, and it's claggy mud, sticks to your boots, but it's still lovely, I don't care, it's just so good to be out. Anyway, so my second visit to hospital was to have the screw removed, and the reason for that is that I've seen the consultant again several times since the first onset of arthritis, and they say there are two solutions for me. I've now got bone on bone apparently, so obviously that's why it's become much more painful. So the solutions are either ankle fusion, which is where they screw it and lock it in place basically so you can't move it, or a replacement ankle joint, a prosthetic ankle. And I've seen two consultants, both of whom said the opposite. One said fusion is the best thing for me with my lifestyle, the other one said replacement ankle is the best for me with my lifestyle. So I put it out on various networks. I'm in some long distance walking networks, and arthritis versus arthritis site. Ooh, there's a rainbow. That doesn't come up very well on the camera, but there is a rainbow over there. Wow, amazing. Anyway, feedback from that was probably don't have the fusion because it will mess up your walking completely. People who knew people invariably said replacement ankle joint is by far the better of the two options. The problem being that the screw that was in my ankle is in the way. Whichever option I go for, the screw in the ankle is in the way, so it had to come out. Hence my operation in mid-November. I went in, it's been there for, as I say, best part of 60 years, and the bone has kind of grown up around it, so getting it out wasn't going to be easy, but it's out. It came out okay, and that's done, and so I've been rehabilitating since then, and this is part of my rehabilitation. And you can see, look, there's the two burial mounds in front of me. I'm on the top of King Down, and I always walk up onto the top just so I can take in the view from slightly higher vantage point. Let's go up here. Now in the summer I would probably have a little sit on here and admire this view and listen to the skylarks, but it's a bit breezy today. There's me, right, and you get, even though it's low, you still get a 360-degree view from up here. Such a nice spot, and it is so good to be out, and the sun is out. It's just wonderful. So anyway, back to my story. I decided that I would go for a replacement ankle because that seemed like the better option, and so I had to screw out in readiness for that. And then the surgeon who took the screw out came and saw me, obviously, before the operation, and I said to him that I was looking forward to getting out and doing some proper walking and backpacking again. And his reaction was, well, I think you should consider changing your lifestyle, take up swimming or cycling, because he said prosthetic ankles will wear out, they won't regenerate like normal ankles do, they'll wear out, and they're a bit untried. I think knees and hips are more, they've been around longer and there's more evidence that they work. With ankles there is less evidence. In fact, I've been told that the current prosthetic they're using is 8 or 9 years they've been using it, and there is a 5 or 6% re-intervention rate. That's where people have had to go back in, have another operation, or maybe a second replacement joint, and that's with people just doing normal things like walking to the shop, walking around the garden and so on. It's not people that have been out backpacking and doing 20-mile walks or whatever. I guess it's like a car. You buy a new car, you get 100,000 miles maybe from a brand new car. You can make that last 20 years, or you can drive everywhere and burn up those miles, and in 6 months you've done 100,000 miles and you're having to get another one. And I guess it's the same with the ankle. And that's my quandary. It threw me a bit. I decided I was going to go with it, and then suddenly I'm thinking, help, is this actually what I want? Is there not another way? So long and short of it is, I've got an appointment for the autumn 2024, during which time I can see what I can do myself to get round it. Natural cures, natural medicines. There's various things, and I've already tried some of these, quite a lot already. So it gives me time to work on it and see what I want to do. The ankle is much worse in the winter. This cold, wet winters that we get really mess with the arthritis. But it's easier in the summer when it's warm and dry. Then I find that the ankle works a lot better and I can manage it easier. And to be truthful, you do get used to walking with pain. I've been doing it now for 9 years or so, albeit it's got a lot worse. You do get used to walking with pain, and the way I look at it, my pleasure level when I set off with a walk is sky high. The pain level, hopefully, at that point is quite low. The pain level increases as I walk, and it's when the pain level reaches the level of the pleasure level that you kind of think, right, maybe it's time to stop, and I need to get back to the car and take my weight off the ankle. That point has been coming closer and closer, I guess, over the last 9 years, but I'm determined to beat it, and I'm determined to keep walking. And I thought I would tell my story a little bit, because I'm sure there must be other people out there of my age, mid-70s, who also have arthritis or issues like that, and they are desperately trying to get round it so that they can keep on walking, which is really what I want to do. I just love walking. I love backpacking. Just the physical putting one step in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. It's just something, that mechanical process that I love, and I really want to keep that going. I don't want to stop. So if I'm really trying to find a way round this. And anyway, that's where I am now. This walk is the first real walk I've done, certainly amongst mud and off-road. I've been out a few times on pavements, on hard ground, but this is the first real walk I've done, and I'm trying to mobilize the ankle after the operation, really, and get it back working again, at least as well as it was before the operation. Ideally better, but who knows, we'll wait and see. Anyway, that's my story, and this is the first walk of 2024, and I'm videoing this because, thanks to birthday and Christmas, I'm now the proud owner of a GoPro Hero 12, I've got a YouTube channel already, as some of you will know. I've put some videos up already on that, but they have always been shot with the phone, so they're not the best quality. I'm hoping with this I'll get much better quality videos, and so I've decided that this year I should do more videoing and put more up and just showcase some of my favourite Dorset walks. And this is one of those, of course. So lovely here, even if it is muddy. So yes, so more walks coming. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, then do hit the subscribe button and follow me, because Dorset is an amazing county. We may not have mountains like some of the other counties have up north, but equally we don't have motorways, and we also don't have cities. What we do have is lots of villages, pretty villages, lots of rolling countryside, rolling hills, and we also have, of course, an amazing coastline, the National Heritage Site, Jurassic Coast. So Dorset's got a lot going for it, and I love Dorset, even though I love the mountains. And just thought I would showcase some of my favourite walks. So anyway, watch this space. Yeah, sorry, I just realised I've been talking a lot, but hopefully that's interesting for some at least, and tells my backstory. Partly the reason for my wanting to video my walks is because while I've been laid up, one of the things I've done is to revisit all my old backpacking trips, coast to coast, the Pembrokeshire Coast Path, South Downs Way, loads of walks that I've revisited. But when I did them, I only took photographs, I didn't shoot any video. So I've also been looking at other people's videos shot of these trips and revisiting the places that I remember from my trips. And so I thought I really should video these, because video, I love photography, I'm a photographer, but video is so much more live somehow, and kind of brings a place to life more perhaps than photographs. So that's partly the reason why I wanted to get the camera, and partly the reason for coming out here today is because it was muddy. It's very muddy everywhere, but at least when you come out this way you've got some fairly good farm tracks, which are usually not too bad in terms of being squelchy underfoot. That's one of the things I have to go careful of, because obviously having a dodgy ankle, you really can't afford to twist your ankle or slip or whatever, because it's delicate, especially at the moment. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the walk anyway. Some lovely scenery, and we've got Badbury Rings to come. That's ancient hill fort which is on this walk, and I will go on a loop round one of the rings. That's what I usually do. I always think that must be a nice place to live, that white cottage down there in the middle of nowhere. It's got access to roads, but you have to drive down farm tracks and things to reach the road, and it must be a lovely, peaceful, quiet place to live. I like it. It's really nice, and I like this view as well. So nice. even on farm tracks you're not safe. And I've got my trusty walking pole with me. See a bit of support. It's a bit slip slidey, I have to say. It's good honest mud though, isn't it? There's a little cottage. Interesting. What the significance of that is. Is that somebody's paint stirring stick? Seems unlikely, since it's about 8 foot long and stuck in the ground. Walking pole maybe? Who knows? There's another one. Actually, I think I've worked it out, because that one has got a new shrub next to it, or tree, so it's obviously a support for when that tree grows bigger. And I'm guessing there's some more. Yes, I can see some more up here, so they're obviously replanting more trees along the edge of this farm track. And now the dear old rain is back, as you can see in the puddle. That bit of sun didn't last too long, but I don't care anyway, because I'm enjoying walking in the rain just as much as in the sun. So we've reached a crossroads now. We came down that road from that cottage up there. That comes down from King Down. If we turn right along that track there, that will take us to the beautiful Dorset village of Witchampton, which is one of my favourite villages. It's really lovely. If we go straight across, that will take us to the famous Tarrant Rushton airfield, which is actually on the horizon, and you might be able to pick up some of the old hangars that are there. That airfield is famous for gliders. During the Second World War, gliders took off from there, as in troop carrying gliders, would be towed by plane across to the continent and then released to land with the troops, and that was what Tarrant Rushton airfield is famous for. So I've walked around that numerous times. The main runway is actually still visible, albeit it's farmland now. We're actually going to turn left, which goes up the hill and will take us up to Badbury Rings. Hi, morning, 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 morning. It's quite a popular mountain biking area as well, this is, because obviously the tracks are good. They look pretty muddy though, I have to say. Hi, morning.
Hi there.
Morning. Hi. Hi there. Hiya. Hi. So I mentioned my walking pole just now, which I carry with me, and that's one of the things I've used to try and counter the effects of arthritis. I always use a walking pole now. I've got collapsible ones, the usual hiking poles, but I actually prefer the wooden pole. Actually cut it and did it myself, made it myself, so that makes it a bit more special, and I've got an affinity with wood. So I use a walking pole. I walk with boots normally rather than trail shoes, which I prefer because boots give a bit of extra support. I've got pain-killing gel which I rub on the ankle. I'm trying natural remedies. That's one of the things on my list. So I'm currently taking turmeric, but there are things like glucosamine, cider vinegar and honey, I believe. There's quite a few natural remedies which some people swear by to reduce the inflammation. I walk slower than I used to. I walk more carefully, which is a shame because I like to look around me and take in the view, but I have to spend time watching the path to avoid twisting the ankle any more than I have to or can help. So I walk carefully. I stop more often probably to rest the ankle. There's a lot of things. I've been to see a physio. I do exercises to strengthen the muscles around the ankle, because again that's extra support. I've tried using an ankle brace. Didn't work very well for me because the ankle brace works fine, but the trouble is there's always an edge where the brace ends, and I find it just makes my foot sore. And in fact I bled all over the last one because it was rubbing so badly, so I've not been able to crack the ankle brace thing. Anyway, there's lots of things, and I'm sure there's loads more out there, so I've got more research to do to see what I can do. So again, if you're interested in it, or if you know anybody with arthritis, or if actually you've got any ideas, then do put them in the comments, and hit that subscribe button and follow my journey this year to see how I get on between now and September, October, when I should see the consultant again. And the sun's coming out again, look, so that's good. Still got the view from where we are, and this is quite often a muddy track. Fingers crossed. There's a rainbow. I always love to see a rainbow. I don't know if it'll come out very well on the video, hopefully it will. Isn't that lovely? So we're coming up to Badbury Rings now. It is actually over the hedge there. So we'll be up there in a minute and have a walk around the ramparts and take in some of the views from up there. Meantime, I've got to get down this lane, which is usually quite muddy. It's a more popular part, this is, because there's a car park near Badbury Rings. So you get a lot of dog walkers and things up here, more so probably than King Down. I may have to stop talking, which may be a good thing in a minute, because I suspect when I get up onto the ramparts the wind will probably affect things, but that's Badbury Rings. I'm just about to climb up onto the ramparts here. Now, one of the benefits of walking Badbury Rings at this time of the year especially is that it's chalk. Walkers in winter love chalk because it drains more easily and it's not usually very boggy. So when you get up onto the ramparts, it's usually pretty clear, and that's great. And there we are, up on the ramparts. and it's raining quite hard now. But fortunate thing is, I don't mind the rain, and neither does the GoPro, because it's waterproof, so that's good. Still got the views. Down there is the point to point, one of the more recent things with that Badbury Rings is famed for, is its point to point races. Over in the distance we can still see the airfield and the black hangars as they were, and right in the distance over Blandford way the sun's out, so who knows, maybe that'll reach me yet. Fingers crossed anyway, let's hope so. Video you can see why I like this walk. Kind of walk along here and you can almost imagine Roman soldiers or even before that guarding this place, which presumably would have had a wooden palisades, is that right? I think that's the word. As well as the ramparts. Just imagine digging all this out by hand though. I mean, today it would be difficult with diggers and all our machinery that we have, but to dig all this by hand and ancient tools as well, it's been an amazing task. Hard to imagine. But I'm glad they did it, because we get great places to walk on the back of it, so that's one of the benefits. So I've done almost a full circle of the rings now, just coming up to one of the entrance gates here, and I will go down off the rings now and head over that way to continue my walk. So farewell Badbury Rings. It's been great, but we've got more walking to do yet, so we'll head down this way. So I'm nearly back at the start now. This will be about 5 miles, I think, when I get back to the to where I've parked, and that'll be the longest walk I've done for months, and it has been awesome. I've absolutely loved it. 100% better because I've been laid up, I guess, and to be able to get back into walking again has been fantastic, and I've loved it. I hope you've enjoyed it too. I hope you've enjoyed hearing a little bit about my story and where I am and what I'm thinking about in this coming year. And there's just one other thing I need to show you. It'd be remiss of me not to, which comes right at the end of this walk, so I will show you that in just a minute. But thanks very much for joining me, and look forward to the next one. And if you have enjoyed this and you want to see more, then just keep an eye on my YouTube channel, on my blog, and there'll be more coming. So this is the last thing I wanted to show you, which comes right at the end of the walk, and this is the very famous avenue of beech trees at Kingston Lacy. It's probably the most famous avenue in Dorset, to be honest, and much photographed, especially in autumn when the leaves turn into their autumn dress. It's a lovely avenue of trees, but sadly it's reaching its end of life time because well, simply because the trees are reaching the end of their lives, but partly because beech trees and car traffic fumes just don't go together. So there's gaps appearing where trees have come down. So what they've done, you can hear me over the traffic noise, is they've created another avenue outside of the beech avenue. These are hornbeams, which are better suited to these conditions, and the idea is that when the beech avenue fells completely, the hornbeam avenue will still be there. The cynical part of me thinks they've set it so wide apart so that they can actually turn this into a dual carriageway, but hey, that's just me being cynical. That may not be right.